Call the April 22nd, 2019 City Council Committee, the whole meeting to order. The clerk will call the roll.
Burowitz, Brooks, Crawford,
Here.
Frank,
Here.
Freeman,
Here.
Porter,
Here.
Ratcliffe, Sanderson,
Here.
Snow,
Here.
Stevens,
Here.
7 present.
Thank you. Under public comment this evening, we have Jennifer Tobin-Tinch here to talk to us about Relay for Life. Jennifer, you have the floor. Come on up.
Oops, I'm sorry. Can't do two things at once.
Would you just state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Jennifer Tobin-Tinch. My address is 727 East 2nd Street here in Belvidere. Good evening. My name is Jennifer Tobin-Tinch, and I am the 2019 event lead for Hope Fest Relay for Life of Boone and Winnebago counties. This year's event is June 1st, 2019 from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Boone County Fairgrounds. For those of you who don't know what Relay is, it's a team event where communities like Belvidere and Rockford and Boone and Winnebago counties come together to honor cancer survivors, remember loved ones lost, and fight back against a disease that has already taken too much. Relay raises awareness of cancer in the community and raises money to support the programs and services of the American Cancer Society. Please let me tell you why I relay. My family became involved with Relay for Life in 1997 when my mom, Margaret Tobin, was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was on her treatment journey when I was diagnosed with endometrial and cervical cancers in 2000. We lost my mom in 2002. My oldest sister, Linda C.A., was diagnosed with glioblastoma brain cancer in August of 2007 and joined our mom 9 weeks later. During these times, we turned to the American Cancer Society and they offered help and support. I'm here to invite our elected officials, staff, and community to join us at Relay, like the mayor does, and the fire chief does, and the police chief does, and help us fight back against cancer. Our theme this year is Hope Fest, because we want to offer hope to every person that is fighting, caregiving, or to those remembering a loved one who has lost their fight. Because without hope, how can you cope with this terrible disease? Right now, we have over 15 teams participating in this year's event, and I want to invite all of you to join us on the track. We have lots of family-friendly fun scheduled, including a crafter vendor fair with 50 participants, Pull for a Cure fire truck pull, a kids area, silent auction, survivor luncheon and activities, a 1-mile family fun run, luminaria ceremony, and much more. The funds we raise truly make a difference in the fight against cancer. Just ask one of the nearly 14 million cancer survivors who will celebrate another birthday this year. So please join us on Saturday, June 1st at the Boone County Fairgrounds. Opening ceremony is at 1 p.m. Pull for a Cure fire truck pull is at 3:15 p.m. Luminaria ceremony is at 5 p.m., gentlemen. Closing ceremony is at 6. To sign up as a survivor, a team, or make a donation to Relay, please visit www.relay.acsevents.org and choose Relay for Life of Boone and Winnebago counties. For American Cancer Society services and support, call 800-227-2345. Thank you for your time tonight, and I hope to see you all on June 1st.
See you there.
Thank you.
For coming. We have no one signed up for public comment other than Jennifer's comments this evening. Under public forum, we have nothing on the agenda. Under reports of officers, boards, and special committees, under public safety, unfinished business, we have nothing. Under public safety, new business, Fire Chief Heiser wants to visit with us about SCBA air packs. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Introduction here. The fire department's self-contained breathing apparatus, known as SCBA, are used to allow our firefighters to enter immediate danger to life and health atmospheres and mitigate emergency situations. The problem we have right now is our current SCBA air packs and masks were purchased in 2004, and they're a 2002 edition. Therefore, NFPA standards behind the current industry. In 2019, our air packs and the mask will be 15 years old, and they'll need to be replaced. The solution we have is the Mine Safety Alliance, or MSA, a trusted manufacturer of SCBA, and their local dealer, Air One, has secured a volume purchase price with Rockford and Cherry Valley Fire Departments. The Belvidere Fire Department has been given the opportunity to be included in this agreement, and we would not have the buying power alone, but by partnering with Rockford and Cherry Valley, our cost has been reduced by $10,322. Resources needed. Our approved fiscal year 2020 budget for SCBA air packs and masks is $86,480. In summary, we're requesting $86,480 to purchase 18 MSA G1 SCBA air packs and 32 G1 face pieces, which is a budgeted fiscal year 20 capital expense. We're also asking to waive the bidding process as we are exclusive MSA users.
I have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Crawford, second by Alderman Porter. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the motion will signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Sounds to me like it's unanimous. Yes, sir.
Afterwards, if anyone wants to see what it looks like, I got a bag right behind me
Okay,
containing one. So.
good deal. Thank you so much. You guys got to breathe, you know. Under Finance and Personnel Unfinished Business, we have none, which brings us to item number 4, Finance and Personnel New Business. Ms. Tobin will give us an update on our relationship with Azavar.
In your packet, you'll see just a one-page summary dated March of 2019. I just wanted to give you an update as to where we are with Azavar. This has been an ongoing process for about the last 17 months with them, as they have gone through our gas, electric, cable, our telecommunications, our sales tax, all of our those different items, and to make sure we were being taxed properly and being paid everything that we were owed. The last 2 items that are outstanding that could take a while, the electric revenue, that's with ComEd. They have corrected over 50 addresses, but now they have gone back to ComEd to collect back taxes, similar to how we did with Comcast. So that could take a little while, so I'm not exactly sure. When I get any updates, we will let you know. The only other thing outstanding is, if you recall, it was probably maybe 6 to 8 months ago when we came before you with the gas tax, your utility tax, how a portion of that, for anybody who was purchasing from outside of Illinois, isn't paying that utility tax. Those that are paying the provider in the state are paying it, so it's not really fair how some people are paying it and some aren't. So that is also still outstanding as to whatever the city decides they want to do about that. We can change it was brought up that we could change our ordinance at a point in time if we wanted to start collecting the rest of that utility tax. So I just wanted to keep you posted on that.
And our process is to sit down with our major industrial users and make this a cooperative effort, as opposed to just sending them a bill and then ending up in court for months and years. So, yes, Alderman Snow.
And Becky, could you brief us again on what this company gets as reimbursement in all this, so we all know?
It's 45% for 3 years. Then we receive the full 100%.
Any additional questions or comments? We also have an update on the General Mills Park.
In your packet, you'll see a memo from myself and Brent regarding the pavilion for the new General Mills Park. We finally have all of the funding in place. None of it are city tax dollars. These are all donations and grants that the city has received, totaling $20,000. So at this time, we are requesting a motion to approve Public Works purchasing and constructing the shelter and pad at the cost not to exceed $10,000, and then also authorizing the acquisition of the other items that are going to be needed as listed in the attached spreadsheet, such as the picnic tables, the garbage can, the grill, all the landscaping, that sort of thing. The intent is for this to, at least the pavilion, to be completed before the summer lunch program starts, which is the second week in June. I think it's June 10th. So Public Works really needs to get moving on ordering the supplies so that they can start building that.
Motion to approve? Motion by Alderman Snow,
Second.
second by Alderman Crawford. Questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay, it is approved, 6-1. Thank you. And then the downtown facade program, Ms. Tobin.
And the city attorney may want to weigh in with me at some point during this. In your packet is a detailed description of what we call the Downtown Facade Improvement Grant Program that just highlights overview, the requirements. This is strictly for exterior projects, not interior. The funding, obviously, this year is based on gaming revenue. We said 5%, so that amount for fiscal year 20 is $16,800 in grant money. Obviously, that number can change years going forward, depending on the budget, depending on the, the status of funding. We wanted to get this out as soon as possible so that we could get this out to the local business owners so that they still had time this summer and fall to complete these projects.
Yes. Motion by Alderman Snow, second. Alderman Crawford. Questions or comments? Alderman Snow.
And maybe you guys can brief me. So if you have somebody who's doing work on their facade and they buy materials, but they do the work themselves, are they allowed to invoice for themselves in order to do that, or are they going to have to supply an invoice from somebody else who physically does the work?
In that case, if they did the work themselves, they're only getting reimbursed for 50% of the materials, and that is actually in here. I'm going to figure out where that's at. So let's say they spend $5,000 on material. The most they can receive from us is 50%, which would be $2,500. They don't receive anything for their labor if they did it themselves.
Okay, so because as I was looking through here, I didn't see that spelled out, that they can't invoice for themselves. I just want to make sure that we don't get duped on that, or everybody's,
On the last page, first paragraph, last sentence, if the applicant is doing his or her own labor, funding will be reimbursed only for material costs.
Okay. Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion now on the floor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Sounds to me the motion passed unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Tobin. Under number 5, under other, first up we have Building Director Kip will talk to us about the request from Habitat for Humanity to set aside the permit fees. Kip?
Okay, attached is a request from Habitat Humanity for the council's consideration to have the building and zoning permit fees waived for the construction of a new home at 621 East Locust Street. As you can see from the request, council has previously waived the fees for 315 and 320 Gilman Street in 2017 and 2018. The estimated fees for the permit to be waived will be $871. If the council is willing to proceed with this project, I would recommend that the building and zoning fees be waived for this project as has been done in the past.
Motion to
I'll
approve
make
by
that
Alderman
motion.
Sanderson, second by Alderman Crawford. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed unanimously. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Next we, yes.
In relationship to that, I got a letter that they're looking for volunteers for the Habitat for Humanity this summer, so I just wanted the public to know that they're looking for people that, even if you're not a construction worker or something, there's plenty of things to do to help out, for helping out Habitat for Humanity.
And also, they always need, on Saturdays, someone to sponsor their lunch. Usually it's somewhere between 12 and 20 people, and it can run to a few bucks, but it's very worthwhile to do that. So, thank you, Alderman Sanderson. Yes, Alderman Frank?
This, for Habitat Humanity this year is my neighbor. So it's sort of nice to know somebody that's actually receiving a home.
Yeah, they're pretty tickled. Very nice. The next item under B is sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation bid tabulation, which we want to table, and Director Anderson will explain why.
Yeah, there's a memo out on your desk tonight. I would recommend a motion to table action on the sanitary sewer manhole rehab. We are awaiting additional information from the low bidder, and we do not have that yet, so I would recommend to have a motion to table at this time. And we are anticipating that we'll have the information by our Public Works meeting in May.
Motion to table.
I'll make that motion.
Alderman Crawford, Alderman Porter, second, so the motion is now tabled. Next up under C, we have the MFT street overlay. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor signify by saying aye. I couldn't imagine anybody opposed. Anyone opposed? Unanimously, it's tabled. Thank you. Next up under the MFT street overlay bid tabulation, Director Anderson.
Memo in your packet, we received 3 bids for our annual overlay program. MFT work this year, Rock Road Companies, $533,691.36. Current contracting for $569,750.11. William Charles Construction, $581,275.91. Our engineer's estimate for this work was $650,398.50. I would recommend approval of the low bid from Rock Road Companies in the amount of $533,691.36 for the 2019 MFT Street Overlay Program, subject to IDOT approval. This work will be paid for from our MFT funds. And please note, with the estimate, with being below the estimate, any of the monies that we do not spend this year will roll over into next year's overlay program.
Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderman Sanderson. Questions or comments for further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Alderman Snow.
Not directly tied to this, but anything going on with the state out on the west side of State Street headed toward Rockford, like before you get to the Sonic by Black Hawk Bank?
I've made inquiries. First inquiry was to the status of the 4-lane section. Quite a few years ago, that was included in the 10-year plan. I was advised that it's no longer in the 10-year plan due to funding constraints. I then asked them what their plan was for that section of North State, and somebody from the Bureau of Operations is supposed to be back in touch with me, and I have not heard from them as of yet. So I will follow up and see if I can track that down. My guess is they'll do once the hot mix plants and projects get going, they'll probably do a temporary overlay on it.
Alderman Sanderson.
Well, I was just going to say, at least maybe they could patch it. I know everybody's complaining, and I go over it, I complain too. I mean, it's like Rocky Road over there. It's a major highway.
Yeah, their conga line came up here before the weather broke and, you know, filled in those holes, but the third car over it pulled everything out of the holes. So once the weather, like he says, warms up and the asphalt plants, overlay plants get fired up, we're hopefully, and we will keep nudging them until they do something. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so
Next up,
we need a motion, a second. Okay, so then we need a vote. Are we ready to vote now, everybody? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's awarded to Rock Road in the amount of $533,691.36. Item D, the thermoplastic pavement striping bid tabulation.
Memo in your packet, we received 5 bids back for that work. The estimate for the work was $10,339. I would recommend approval of the low bid from Countryman Incorporated in the amount of $11,291.10 for the 2019 MFT thermoplastic pavement striping project, subject to IDOT approval. This work will be paid for from MFT funds. And please note, this covers our streets that we're going to overlay this year. This covers the thermoplastic pavement markings on those streets only. Our regular pavement marking program is done jointly through the City of Rockford and the City of Cherry Valley, and that work will be coming forward soon.
Motion to approve. Motion by Alderman Sanderson, second. Alderman Crawford. Additional questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed unanimously. Yes, Alderman Snow.
Can we go back to the facade program as far as the map for the areas that it includes? And I see that it looks like it's a larger area, and I realize Gina's not here, but it looks like a larger area than necessarily the downtown overlay district, but I wouldn't swear to that, but it obviously gobbles up to and including the Leith building down to Dean's. But I was wondering if we shouldn't have a few other areas that might that are real close to the downtown that are business orientated that might be able to participate in this as well. For instance, Coach's Corner, and down over on Lincoln, where the bike shop and a couple other areas were on West Lincoln there, if that might be useful, being that they are the start of the district at that point as far as businesses.
When I went through this with Gina, I guess we were trying to focus on more historic areas. We had talked about Coach's Corner building, but, you know, looking at the age of it, we felt like we didn't need to go down that far. We can revisit that if you would like. Let's see, where did we go on Lincoln? Yeah, I think we included those that were facing State Street that were part of either the overlay or the National Registry District. We did not go any farther down on Lincoln. There again, that building is a little bit newer, so we didn't feel that that was appropriate for what this money was for. And then the other way, we also included Buchanan, even though it's technically not part of either one of the registries. And then even though the Leith building is in it, I guess we mostly put that in it more for the, obviously this $5,000 isn't going to do much for the Leith building. So this was more in it probably for the ACE building than anything else, because they have been doing some exterior work to it.
Just throwing it out there, so we, when this comes back in 2 weeks.
You can make a motion to amend. And,
Possibly.
And if you would submit to Ms. Tobin exactly what you stated in writing, then we would have that proposed to the council.
Sure. And did anybody else have any thoughts on it? I was just curious.
Anderson?
Yeah, I don't recall us saying that this had to be a historic district overlay thing. I kind of agree. You know, you want to give a facelift to downtown. People want to participate, make their business look good. And I won't be here, but I would suggest that maybe we expand it a little bit to the town, you know.
That's fine.
Certainly don't have a problem with that.
I was going to say, if you want to drive around and check out some of those areas, by all means. I mean, yeah, we were just kind of, we knew we wanted to expand it greater than the overlay district, and we knew we wanted to go beyond even the historic districts, because they miss, the historic districts, there's a gap in between the two, and we know we wanted to be able to grab those buildings as well. So, yeah, we're open to whatever, if you guys want to drive around and
well,
if we miss
each
something.
project has to be submitted for approval. So, you know, if somebody just redid something last year and they want to come and add something else, then I would suggest that when that's deliberated, the answer would be no, and it would spend the money on somebody who really needs to have a facade. So I don't have any problem with anybody applying for it. If you want to take a windshield tour, that'd be great. Anybody else? Well, I guess that concludes. Yes, Alderman Freeman.
This is just for optics. The pavement striping bid thing, Countryman Inc., that's not any affiliation with our new building director, correct? Okay, I just wanted to.
Oh, yeah, that's
just
good,
for
no
optics.
problem. What's wrong with that? Thanks for clarifying that, Alderman Freeman. Anybody have anything else for the good of the order? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion by Alderman Sanderson. Second by Alderman Sanderson and Alderman Crawford. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.